right, so you wake up. It's 5:55 p.m. You walk out the door. A car's passing 555 on the license plate. You go into a store. You purchase something. You're not thinking about it, and it comes out to $5.55 on the register. Right? Most scientists would say, yeah, I mean that can happen. It happens in the universe. Things like that line up. It happens. It's still chaos. But then you experience it again and again and again. And you go through experiencing it enough times that you're like, okay, I don't think this is coincidence anymore. I think something's happening, right? Most people are thinking, what do they mean? I would walk and see these things and I'd be thinking my whole time, what do they mean? And the answer I eventually got was, they mean machine. They mean we exist in a perfect mechanized system. Right? Why? How does that make sense? Because to get you to see these numbers at the times you saw them meant that your thoughts had to be perfectly aligned with timing and going about doing things that would lead you to the correct places at the correct times. Because if you weren't thinking the right thoughts at the right times, you wouldn't have seen them, right? And if you didn't choose the correct choices, something else would have happened on the register, right? So these things all point towards a system. And then the question is how is that possible? The short answer is it's not possible. The long answer is it's something that you wouldn't expect it to be. I'm not going to say magic. I'm going to say God, right? Because I am, which is God's name, is throughout all things and can maneuver you in a way where you see signs at very specific times and places that seem to be impossible. It shows that there is order behind the universe, right? It shows that there is control of the universe. Where what we thought was that this place is just bags of meat walking around randomly interacting with one another, and there is no synchronicity, there is no higher connection, there's just the matter in space and time, and that's it. When it gets more interesting is when you think about the idea that we exist outside of this place when we die. We exist in a place without time, but with space, right? And you see that we carry on with what we usually are like, much more improved, but there is no beginning or end to the soul. There's no beginning or end to God, right? That's what this all... I know it sounds crazy. Trust me, I get that. It sounds very crazy, but this is what it implies, right? This is what I was taught by black, looking at the color black and learning all this stuff. I realized that the perfect system is what we exist in, and it means that we are all wired to some form of destiny determined by our... It's not our creator. We have always existed. That's the thing about the idea here, is that outside of this place, you've always existed. You have no beginning or end. You're eternal. You're immortal. So that's what they mean. That's what these numbers mean. These numbers mean you're immortal, right? Maybe. It's something that you have to keep going around in circles like I just did and seeing, wait a minute, that's the only way that's possible, because for these synchronized events to keep happening means even the floaters in your eyeballs are timed perfectly for moving around in case you see a floater in your eye and you go, a floater. And you think for a moment, and then you end up at the correct place at the correct time to see that license plate passing, right? When you see it's that perfect, you understand that the only way this is all possible is if you connect the dots and see we're in a magic machine. But it's not a magic machine. We're within God, and God is order around magic, and magic is around chaos. So everything is working exactly the way it's supposed to. That's what this all means.